On the news, Tinubu to deliver a State of the Nation address at joint sitting of National Assembly on May 29. Organized Labour rejects federal government's fresh 60,000 naira minimum wage offer, shifts to 494,000 naira. And Senate recalls Abdul Ningi from suspension over budget padding claims. Thank you for joining us on News Now. I'm Simisola Atiku. The Senate and House of Representatives are set to hold a joint sitting on Wednesday to mark 25 years of uninterrupted democracy in the country and the first anniversary of the Tinubu administration. In a statement issued by the clerk to the National Assembly, President Bola Tinubu will deliver an address on the state of the nation at the joint sitting and also inaugurate the National Assembly Library. Chief of Staff to the President, Femi Gbajabiamila, who served as Speaker of the 9th House from 2019 to 2023, will deliver a paper on reflections on the House, while David Mark, President of the 6th and 7th Senate from 2007 to 2015, will speak on reflections on the Senate. Abdulsalami Abubakar, former head of state, will also deliver a paper on reflections on the journey to democracy. Meanwhile, the Coalition of United Political Parties has criticized President Bola Tinubu's one-year administration, saying that the removal of fuel subsidy has inflicted untold hardship on Nigerians. At a press conference held in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, CUPP leaders and spokespersons accused Tinubu of exacerbating the country's socio-economic woes and failing to deliver on its promise of renewed hope. Adebayo noted deteriorations in the economy, cost of living, education, security, and overall quality of life.
All of this within the first 60 seconds of Tinubu's presidency, and Nigerians are yet to recover from that tragedy till date. His welcome package to Nigerians was that of mass suffering, mass hunger, mass poverty, and a government that is absolutely insensitive to the plight of Nigerians. The sudden subsidy removal was both thoughtless and wicked. Without any sort of cautioning policy frameworks, the president went off script and unleashed what amounted to economic terrorism on Nigerians by declaring that subsidy was gone. Gone with the subsidy was our joy, our hope, and high expectations of a Tinubu administration that most thought was coming with a new deal of development, prosperity, peace, and progress that he passionately campaigned on during the electionary period. This situation must teach Nigerians to take full advantage of the fundamental elements of democracy about the capacity of the citizens to make informed choices at periodic elections. Whatever we got wrong in 2023, we must get right in 2027 by making the right choices, devoid of the current voids and domination. We have all seen that this government can do. We have all seen what this government can do. And nobody should be under any illusion that anything dramatic can change for the better, except if it will worsen. One thing we, as opposition, can promise Nigerians is that we will give you the best ever alternative come the next cycle of elections that will liberate you and us, all of us, from this tragic turn of events. We will give you candidates that will connect directly with your hopes and aspirations, who will be empathetic to your needs and take Nigeria from mediocre leadership to a sophisticated level of unprecedented development.
The Nigerian Senate has passed the National Anthem Bill 2024, which seeks to revert to the old national anthem, Nigeria We Hail Thee. This legislative move comes after the Senate considered a report presented by Chairman of the Judiciary Committee, Senator Tahir Mangono. While presenting his report, Senator Mangono says his committee did not agree with the stand of the Attorney General of the Federation, Lateef Fagbemi, who argued that the process of changing the anthem should involve a broader consultative process. Following the consideration of the bill's clauses, the Senate passed the bill on its third reading. The bill now awaits the assent of President Bola Tinubu to become law.
The adoption of the old national anthem will preserve and promote the country's cultural heritage for future generations. That the bill, if passed, will be of symbolic significance, as changing the national anthem will symbolize Nigeria's transition towards greater unity, inclusivity, and progress as a nation. that by adopting the new national anthem, certainly Nigeria demonstrates respect for its cultural traditions while also embraces positive change within its society. That the Joint Senate Committee on Judiciary, Human Rights and Legal Matters and Committee on Federal Character and Intergovernmental Affairs, having exhaustively carried out painstaking legislative actions on this bill, hereby recommends as follows: that the Senate do pass the bill for an act to provide for the national anthem of Nigeria and for related matters, SB 461.
And for just the avoidance of doubt, the bill that has just been passed now, awaiting the assent of Mr. President, goes like this. Nigeria, we hail thee, our own dear native land. Though tribes and tongues may differ, in brotherhood we stand.
Others' decision to return to the old national anthem has of reactions across the country. Let's get more reactions from public affairs analyst Akin Fatunke. Thank you, sir, for your time. Now, the debate over whether Nigeria should revert to the old national anthem has also explored the potential psychological impact. Now, what do you make of the reps and Senate move to effect this change? And do you believe that it will effect positive change in the country as the Senate believes?
In a manner of speaking, yes. Has it gone through the normal process? I am yet to see. But like they say, ignorance is no excuse. I know for sure that Alhaji Tahir Imam makes the point that it was going to go for higher consultation, went through the judicial committee, went through the Public Affairs Committee, went through various committees. And he did mention that they were going to also throw it out for public hearing. I want to believe and assume this will have been. As somebody who has seen both anthems, I like to say even before now, even before the 10th Senate took a decision that they were going to go this way, people have been making the point about a flag being a symbol of unity. The new anthem got into being in 1978, essentially to try and do a benchmark to the Civil War that had just gone by. But if you look at a flag independence from the beginning of 1960 up till now, you really will find that we have drifted apart. We have allowed tribes and tongues to differ. We have not been a nation, and that Nigeria is indissoluble is still a subject that is raging in different circles. So we have constitution that we say, the 1999 constitution specifically, as amended, that we still say is still not fit for purpose. So people are going at their different levels. Do I think that is going to bring in harmony, peace? Let's go back to the history. Perhaps, I think it was said that it was composed by Lillian Jane Williams, who lived in Nigeria, in the British expatriates, who lived in Nigeria in 1960. And of course, Frances Brenda composed the music to the anthem. And when Obasanjo came on at his first outing as a military head of state, he got Nigerians to try and see, can we be part of this? Can we be part of that? Again, it's a thing of the mind and of the body to now then say, yes, Nigerians can compose, and Nigeria can do a couple of things. Do we have the heart and the mind to be able to go for it? But I think that first anthem, if you ask me, appear better in content and context. Appeals to our deep sense of patriotism, and musically, I am a lover of music. I know a bit about music. The musical composition is well and balanced. The other one, of course, has introduced some local instruments. but it's our values.
All right, sir. So briefly, sir, some people have argued that the old anthem is a reminder of Nigeria's colonial days of oppression. Now, as someone who has, who knows both anthems, do you also share this line of thought?
I will say this to you. You are so right that I know the lyrics of the first anthem. Take us back to our colonial past. Let's look at the lyrics. The last stanza. It says, "Go God of creation, grant this our noble request. Help us to build a nation where no man is oppressed. And so with peace and plenty, and Nigeria may be blessed." What is colonial about that? Look, points remains for me. If it went through the normal process, I also know that we have situations where people say, is this our priority? People always wonder if these are priorities. Has it taken an ear or a skin off us? If it has not, it goes, in my honest view, something that we should all embrace. I do not see, apart from the fact that I just told you that Lillian Jane Williams and Frances Brenda, who were British nationals who were in Nigeria as at that time, who saw Nigeria how it was in its raw state, which has gone, in my mind, some steps backwards. Even since that time, we need to do a bit of a rebuild. I am aware that the Justice Minister and the Attorney General has said that it should go for wide consultation. I want to believe that this is going for wide consultation. If it's not going for wide consultation, of course, I expect, as usual, some people might say they want to approach the courts to put it down, but this might be a tough one. Finally, I think perhaps we need to codify this in a way, a manner that we should have specific epochs which this marks. The second national anthem, which Eben Odiase composed, again came on. Nigerians were part of it, and had a bit of a samba musically. The lyrics, compared to the first one, I would say a 60 for the first one and 40 for the second one. So we can now have periodic and say 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, so that a new government will not then come and then make a bit of a reverse. It should be all encompassing and all embracing.
All right. Public Affairs Analyst, Mr. Akin Fatinke, thank you so much for lending your opinion. Moving on, the Senate has pardoned and recalled Senator Abdul Ahmed Ningi, who was suspended on March 12, 2024. The Bauchi Central Senator had faced a 3-month suspension following his allegations of 3.7 trillion naira budget padding, the 2024 budget. The decision to recall Ningi was made after a joint motion sponsored by Minority Leader Abba Moro, Senator representing Osun South Olalere Oyewumi, and Senator representing Enugu West Osita Ungu. In his lead debate, Senator Moro pledged to assume full responsibility for Ningi's actions and acknowledged the gravity of the suspension.
Said Senator Abdul Ahmed Ningi, being under suspension, has spent over 2 months outside the precincts of the National Assembly complex and needs to return to continue with his legislative activities as a senator representing Bauchi Central Senatorial District. Flowing from the above, the Senate minority leadership takes full responsibility for the actions of our colleague Senator Abdul Ahmed Ningi and apologizes on his behalf.
I urge the Senate, having apologized, the leadership having apologized on behalf of Senator Ningi, we should accept this apology so as to strengthen our spirit of brotherhood that we are known for. Something has been done, and the leadership on its own has come out to apologize on his behalf. So I urge my colleagues to please accept this apology without debate so that we can move forward. We are all brothers. And as I said earlier, making error is something that is human.
Is there any senator who is opposed to this motion? Wow. So if there is nobody here to oppose the motion, then I'll put the question. Those in support of the motion moved by the minority leadership and duly seconded that Senator Abdul Ningi, who was suspended from this August Assembly on the 12th day of March 2024, be recalled to participate in all proceedings of the Senate. Henceforth, say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. It is unanimous.
Ongoing talks on a new national minimum wage remain deadlocked as discussions ended without an agreement on what should be paid. The organized labor, comprising the National Labour Congress (NLC) and the Trade Union Congress (TUC), rejected the fresh offer of the federal government to pay 60,000 naira as the new minimum wage for workers. The unions have also shifted ground from its 497,000 naira stance last week to 494,000 naira. The government and the OPS had initially proposed 48,000 naira and 54,000 naira last week, which were also rejected by the organized labor. Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development Festus Keyamo has disclosed that the federal government spends 1 billion naira monthly on electricity at the Murtala Mohammed Airport, Lagos. The minister said this on Monday during the ministerial press briefing in Abuja to mark President Bola Tinubu's first year in office. According to Keyamo, the ministry is planning to reduce the heavy costs by investing in solar power systems, which is also eco-friendly. TV360's Emeka Mako filed this report from Abuja.
It's the third day of the sectoral updates by ministries to mark President Bola Tinubu's first year in office. Railing out the achievements of the aviation sector, Festus Keyamo said his ministry is developing a master plan for major airports in the country. Under Ade Sirika, the former aviation minister, the federal government opened the bidding process for the concession of 4 major international airport terminals in the country on August 16, 2021. The airport includes Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja, Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Lagos, Malam Aminu Kano International Airport, Kano, and Port Harcourt International Airport. Briefing journalists, Keyamo explained that the concession deal was being thoroughly reviewed by the federal government to ensure transparency and total alignment with international best practices.
It has long been agreed upon. We all agree, you and I, the bureaucracy cannot run public utilities. It's impossible. So let us not go and argue that. Let's not argue that. It has been established. And I apologize for saying so. The bureaucracy cannot run public infrastructure because that is why they call it bureaucracy. Bureaucracy, permanent secretary, director will sign, take to perfect, and people are sweating at the airport to change one chiller. So whilst we try to manage what we meet on the ground, we met on the ground in terms of civil servants do your work, we urge them. We have a department of customer protection. We have a works department. We try our best to push them. And so you will still see the problems until we do full concession of this airport and they are run professionally like private businesses. We are going to have these problems.
Speaking further, the minister added that the Bot Nigerian Air project remains suspended until further notice, reiterating that the ownership structure of the suspended airline was not beneficial to the country. In addition, Keyamo explained that the ministry was bypassing the power distribution companies to buy electricity directly from generating companies, saying that method will save the federal government about 300 million naira.
They want us to use green airports to do green airports. And guess what? That is why we want to eliminate the use of diesel to run our airports gradually. We have more than 50 proposals on our table. The PS can say that, can testify. 50 for people who are coming to run our airports to establish with their money on solar. They want to run our airports on solar. And that will save us so much every month. Lagos Airport alone, I am told we do 1 billion naira monthly on electricity. And I said, why? That's something I'm still trying to crack. I said, why? The first thing I said they should do is to bypass the DISCO and go to the GENCO because we are what they call eligible users. We are eligible customers. So why do you pay a DISCO that will put profit on top when you are eligible customer.
The minister also assured the distributing activities of thugs and touts at the airports, which have dragged the name of the country into the report, are being holistically addressed.
We'll take a break, but coming up, Nigeria secures $30 billion investment commitment in 1 year. That's according to the Minister of Industry. Stay with us for details. Welcome back. Let's take you through our major stories. The Senate and House of Representatives are set to hold a joint sitting on Wednesday to mark 25 years of uninterrupted democracy in the country and first anniversary of the Tinubu administration. In a statement issued by the clerk to the National Assembly, President Bola Tinubu will deliver an address on the state of the nation at the joint sitting and also inaugurate the National Assembly Library. He also told you that ongoing talks on a new national minimum wage remain deadlocked as discussions ended without an agreement on what should be paid. The organized labor, comprising the Nigeria Labour Congress (NLC) and Trade Union Congress (TUC), rejected the fresh offer of the federal government to pay 60,000 naira as new minimum wage for workers. The unions have also shifted ground from its 497,000 naira stance last week to 494,000 naira. In case you missed any of our news bulletins or for more updates, you can catch us on Limex World TV and AVO TV or log on to our website on www.tv360nigeria.com. You can also follow us on our social media platforms on Twitter, Instagram and YouTube at TV360 Nigeria or download our mobile app on Google Play Store, Huawei App Gallery and Apple Store. On Facebook, we're at TV360 Online. Well, let's catch up with the latest happenings in the world of business. Joy Uchejim is on standby. What's happening, Joy?
Thank you, Simi. Welcome to Business News. The Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Doris Udoka Anite, has revealed Nigeria secured an investment commitment of over $13 billion in 2023. The minister, while giving an update of the achievements of the ministry, disclosed that the federal government is set to establish commercial courts across the country to try business cases. Anita further explained that the FG has invested $3.5 million to unlock the textile and apparel industry and is set to flag off the Light Up campaign to boost the power situation for small and mid-sized enterprises. She also mentioned the increase in revenue to 430 million naira for the Lagos International Trade Fair Complex, adding that Nigeria is set to host the next trade fair, which was last hosted in 2010. We'll take a short break and be back with stock market reports. Welcome back. The bull has continued its reign on the second weekday of trading on the Nigeria stock market as the all-share index increased by 0.53%. The market breadth also had a good run as out of 125 NGX-listed equities that participated in trading, 28 stocks advanced and 14 declined. Dangote Sugar Refinery led the gainers with a 10% price appreciation closing at 42 naira 90 kobo, followed by National Salt Company which closed at 37 naira 25 kobo. Market activities were also on the high side as 559 million volumes of shares were exchanged in 7,990 deals, valuing at over 6.6 billion naira. Compared to the previous NGX trading day, today's data shows 52% improvement in volume and 11% improvement in turnover. Let's hope the NGX keeps up the trend in the coming days. Now, on the foreign scene, it's a totally reverse situation as the bears tighten its grip on our select global equities, leaving them to close in the red, especially the UK's FTSE, as uncertainty over interest rate cuts in the US and the domestic political landscape weighed on trading sentiment. Now, let's take a quick look at our foreign exchange market. We celebrate small victories as the naira gained on the dollar by nearly 100 naira on the official market, trading at 1,382 naira and at 1,515 naira on the black market. The Great British Pounds traded at 1,764 naira on the official market and 1,930 naira on the black market. The Euros traded at 1,500 naira on the official market and traded at 1,630 naira on the black market. That's some more business and stock market reports. Simi, back to you for the rest of the news.
Thank you, Joy, for that update. On the foreign scene, Denmark's parliament has rejected a proposal to recognize a Palestinian state, backing the government's view that the necessary conditions were not in place, despite a decision by Spain, Ireland and Norway to endorse independence. The Danish bill had been proposed by 4 left-wing parties. Member of the parliament for the alternative, Sasha Fax, says recognizing a Palestinian state is the only way to achieve lasting peace in the Middle East. Israel, which has found itself increasingly isolated after more than 7 months of conflict with the Palestinian militant of Hamas, which rules Gaza, has reacted furiously to the European moves. Finally, on sport, amid the uncertainty of qualifying for the 2025 Under-17 AFCON, Nigeria and hosts Ghana have gone head-to-head in the third-place playoff of the ongoing WAFU B Under-17 Championship at the University of Ghana Stadium on Tuesday. Nigeria and Ghana failed to qualify for the 2025 tournament after they were defeated in the semi-finals. Ghana lost 2-1 to Burkina Faso, while Ivory Coast edged Nigeria to a 1-0 victory. Nigerian striker Asisat Oshoala has won the best goal for the UEFA Women's Champions League 2023-2024 season. The 29-year-old netted the last goal with a stunning bicycle kick in the game Barcelona won 5-0 en route to claiming the UEFA Women's Champions League. The reigning African Footballer of the Year did not, however, finish the season with them as she joined Bay FC in the United States. Well, that's all on News Now. Thank you very much for watching.